Hey everybody, welcome back to Movified. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Salmon's Transfer, right here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And it's my pleasure to guide you through the ins and outs of the moving industry, sharing insights, stories, tips and tricks, and throw in some coming up funny jokes to help your business thrive. This episode is special because it's sponsored by our friends and partners at MoverMarketing.AI. When I first started working with them, I needed help with my website. I didn't know what was going on and why I wasn't ranking very well. These guys helped optimize my website and also made sure that my website didn't look like trash. Are you stuck in this situation? Well, make sure you give them a call because you're going to be in the right hands with MoverMarketing.AI. And if you ever wondered how to do it, you can follow us in any of the links posted, whether it's on YouTube or on social media, and definitely check it out. But you know what? We're not talking about them today. We're talking about Rotate Digital with my friend Travis. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks, Mark, for having me on. Everyone who's listening, my name is Travis. I'm the owner and founder of RotateDigital.com. We are a specialized tactical SEO agency, website development agency that specializes just with moving companies, and that's all we do, and that's our focus. So that's a little bit about my business.
I love it. I feel like I just talked about your competitor and then just kind of throw you right into the mix. So it's good. You're like, oh, okay, here's this awkward stance. Like, there you go.
Healthy competition, right? America thrives on that. So that's okay. I'm happy to be here and happy to see them being supported as well. So I do know them personally, and that's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of America.
Of course. Well, you know what I love is I find that in the last couple of years, there's so much. And I remember at the Moving Titan retreat, Tommy Mello kind of mentioned this because he was like, man, I am so dumbfounded that in all the different trades out there, whether you're in like plumbing, the HVAC industry, the painting business, there's so much support and so much niche business opportunities in that market space. And then you go to the moving side of it and there was nothing. There hadn't really been anything. And it's one of the stuff I want to talk to you about today because, as I was driving to the studio, I thought to myself, I'm like, how many of us in the moving field get that phone call and it's like somebody that barely speaks English going like, I will get you on page one, for $500 a month, and it's your one keyword, and you're like, okay, cool. Can I have movers? If I type in, that's my keyword that I want. And we get so many phone calls all the time, whether it's email blasts and stuff, and this is one of the first questions I want to ask you. When someone is doing that and says, this is the keyword, how are they doing it?
How are they picking the keyword, or how are they selling that pitch to you?
Well, both, right? How does that work for us that are just you hear, I'm just your mover. I just want to kind of get to page one because organically I'm struggling, and these guys somehow can get that keyword and boom, you're at the top.
Yeah. So on let's start with the fun, the fun start. The phone call that you're getting is the biggest BS scam, in my opinion, ever, because they've got to hook you in, right? So their job is to get you excited. So that's why they say, hey, number one, we can get you number one for whatever the keyword is. But you've got to realize number one was so 2008, I'm number one, to be able to just say, oh, we're going to get you number one. It's number one for what? Where, what keyword, what location, where's the person Googling from? What's their past history on Google? That's a lot of play nowadays is I can be in Dallas, I can be North Dallas, South Dallas, East Dallas, West Dallas, or in Arizona. And when I type in movers Dallas, I may get 5 different results. And so it's very hard to just go, I'll guarantee you number one. And then a lot of the times they'll hook you in with that. But then what they do is they say, we can get you number one for best moving companies, Vancouver with red logos, right? Or some long tail keyword that has no value at all. And it's sure, I can go do that too overnight with, whatever it is. So that's the sales pitch, and it's dumb and I hate it. Then the question is, in my opinion, how do you pick the keyword? It starts with your people, right? The whole name of the game is sales, right? So think about what is being typed in, and that's the key. Is we do, as an SEO company, we do keyword research, which is all we're doing is trying to understand what people are typing in. And I think that's the key to understand, is like, we are just figuring out what the people want and then how to get in front of them. And so we have chosen like 5 what we call money keywords that are pretty much ubiquitous across all of Canada, all of the United States. And that's, words like movers near me, moving companies near me, best moving companies, that are pretty much standard that people will Google, that have local value to somebody Googling that, right? And then you get the niches, right? Like Seattle, you've got the PNW, so movers PNW, or I'm trying to think of some of the other ones like Austin. Like there's certain cities that they like, the name is used a lot more, and so that's a whole nother game. But at the end of the day, it's about the people and what are they searching and how do we get in front of them.
And would you say then that those would be like some of the top 5 keywords? Like, do you find more people are saying like movers near me, like when I'm typing in? Like, has that become more of like a much more popular keyword that average people are just typing in and going, okay, I'm looking for movers near me. Like, this is what's going to pop up. And it's picking up what? It's picking up what their IP, where their location is. And then it's building off a radius of what's around them.
Yeah, you're spot on. In fact, you could own an SEO company at this point because you're spot on, because that's really what it's doing. Is someone's typing in mover or moving companies. They're starting with that word, and then Google, will autofill movers near me, moving companies near me, and then it's easy because we're freaking lazy people to go, yep, that makes sense. Click. Right. And so then boom, that's where it's getting. So some people are typing that all in. Some people just type in movers or moving companies and click enter. And some people will start typing movers or moving companies and see the autofill and click one of the autofills. And then Google is trying to determine where they're at, either with an IP address. Do you ever like do a search or get on a Safari and it's like, allow the location, right? Well, now you've allowed it always. And so it always knows where you're at and what you're looking at. And so the results will differ because of that. And so I tell people, drive around your city, drive to North Vancouver, drive to South Vancouver and East Vancouver, and you'll see some different results, both on the maps, like in that little map pack where you see the ratings, and below it. Now, below it is a little bit more stable and ubiquitous, but still changes. But you're spot on that.
So, what I found is the biggest issue is, for the longest time you had your sponsored clicks, right? So everybody that was doing PPC, and I remember we're backtracking to like 2007, maybe 2006, when, you could buy a keyword off Google, and like to have, that keyword be movers or like Vancouver movers, it was like $1 a click. It was so cheap. Whereas now you're looking at it going, okay, this is like $80 or $100, or depending on what your keyword is, that just really has skyrocketed. But for lots of people, they go, okay, great, I got the sponsored, I got the Google Maps, which is now so relevant. And then organically, now for someone like me, for myself and my business, and having a bit of marketing background, I've always been the guy that goes, I just want to organically be on page 1. Like on certain keywords. But would you say like today, especially with things like Google Guaranteed and the sponsored and the Google Maps and stuff, it's even worthwhile to be organically listed on certain keywords or like your main keywords? Because I feel like now you're like 12 moving companies down. The other day I was looking for a cleaning company, and I went specifically down the list because I was like, oh, I feel bad for the guys that are not on those top sites, right? But is that something that people still should thrive for, to go, okay, let's try and get you organically listing? Or how do you work with your clients to target like those specific keywords to be up top?
Yeah. And
sorry, that was like a full-ended question.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Let's start with the question of like, is it worth it? You, right in your asking questions, just described why it's worth it. But you've got some people who are sitting here going, I click on whatever's first, I don't care. And then you've got some people, you're like, I know this game, I don't want the paid ad, I want the guy showing up in the maps. And then you've got some people who are like, I want 5 different options. So I'm going to scroll and choose like 5 different options. And right there, you just identified why it's worth it and what the name of the game is. And in my opinion, the name of the game is visibility and real estate. Like, you've got page 1 real estate. What kind of real estate? You've got Google guaranteed real estate. You also have real estate for Google paid ads. You also have a map real estate where you have maps, local map results showing up. That's real estate. And then you've got below the maps, and that's real estate. And all of that is real estate that we want to be visible on. And so some of the guys who are crushing it are the guys who they run Google guaranteed, not because they think it's the best marketing source, but because they show up at the top. And then they run some paid ads, very specific, very strategic. Not because they're like, that's the only way to grow our moving business. It's because they get to show up there. And then they're on the maps, and then they're below the maps. And next thing you know, you now own 15, 20% of the entire page that someone's looking on. Wow, like you have a huge increased chance to get more clicks and more people to call you and try to win that estimate and win that bid. So I think hopefully that answers that question.
It does.
My goal, and my competitors now probably know this because I'm saying it, when someone types in movers near me, I don't care about showing up. When someone types in marketing for movers or moving company marketing or movers SEO, not only do I want to be on the first page, but I want like 3 or 4 spots. I want to own that stuff. And so you're going to see strategies that come out with us. You're like, wow, Travis, Rotate Digital is showing up in like 4 different spots, whether it's my business's website or whether it's on, Moversville or whether it's another landing page website that we can get ranked. I want to own that real estate. So I think it's the same thing for a moving company.
It's Blake with Midtown Moving and Storage here. I wanted to take a moment to show off some of these handwritten letters that MovingLetters.ai has done for us. These are absolutely incredible. These are handwritten letters that they made for us with my name, me and my wife. It has a phone number for us on there as well. We have seen some extreme success with these things so far. We only started about 2 weeks ago with them, and they were able to get us already about 10 estimates out. And I think 3 of those have booked with us so far. And they have been just absolutely incredible. And we just booked, I think this morning, a $15,000 job with them. So I highly, highly recommend, if you guys have not tried MovingLetters.ai, to give them a call. Matt is incredible. Zach's also incredible. Give them a call. And yeah, man, they're great.
So for a moving company that's starting off, and I'm going to go, circa this year and then kind of go a jump ahead. Circa 2006, 2008, let's just like go back like 10, 15 years as the internet was evolving. It was so easy to go in the back end and go, okay, let's just go in the meta, meta tags, you just like filtered keywords, any type of keyword, and Google would just start ranking that. There was no such things as all their different algorithms and keywords. Sometimes, and at the same time too, you would try and buy domain names going VancouverMovers.com, right? Yep. Because you're like, boom, here you go. Or you would have, even like Movers Near Me, like that was like your domain name. Does that matter anymore of having like strong domain names, or is that back to like the real estate factor of going, okay, because there's a lot of guys out there that, they want to kind of get their moving company going. They want to get started. And before, you used to have to name check your business name, right? Like you would go and send like a 3-name business search to see if that name is viable so that you can go get your LLC or go get your incorporation document. And now the first thing you do is you're like, let's go to GoDaddy and let's go check if that domain's available, and away you go.
Yep.
Is that still relevant today, like to be effective on buying that domain name, or does it not matter as much?
Not at all. Some people are going to argue, well, a little bit, not at all. And in fact, I think it's actually more riskier anyway, because the name of the game is building your brand online. It doesn't matter at all. In fact, people forward us emails all the time. They're like, somebody's selling Movers Toronto or moversvancouver.com. Do I get it? Get it for the real estate and the ownership of it? Cool. For an SEO purpose, to try to grow your business on SEO, not a chance, because you're doubling your work, because Google, I'm sure people have heard this from me, but Google's game is that, oh, you got to hate that. Hold on real quick. Sorry. Google's game is to bark. So Google's game here is to get the valuable companies in front of their audience. That's the name of the game right there. How do we do that? And that's the goal, is like, how do we do that? Well, we build a good brand. Well, you will go buy moversvancouver.com. Google has no idea who that is, what that's for. They're not going to show that anymore. That is circa 2006, 2008. So yeah, no, you have to build a brand. And then to kind of flip on like a guy starting out, do not think about that domain name for any SEO value. It's not worth 1 second of your time. Get a name that's buy a domain that matches your identity and your brand identity, and just roll with that. And then also, if you're just starting out, don't touch SEO. It's not the time nor the place.
I'm giving this pause because for anybody that's listening and wants to buy around 100 different moving company domain names, reach out to me. I got a bunch for sale. I have a large inventory of domain names back from like that I've probably paid since circa like 2010, 2015 of all kinds of domain names that you might want to buy. Yeah. That's so funny.
I have them too for my stuff, right?
Sure.
Like marketingformovers.com. Guess who owns it? I do. But I own it because of the pleasure, because of the ownership and control, not because it's going to be my best SEO move.
Every year when I see it coming up for renewal and I'm like, I have like storagecanada.com, like, it's like, do I get rid of it? Oh, I've been paying for it for like 5 years. Do I just hold on to it? It's one of, I'm like you. It's just like, I don't want to let it go. Right. So we've tackled the domain names. Now we're on to the websites. There are so many guys out there that, go, okay, I just need a website built. Now, back in the day, you used to be able to just quickly build a WordPress site. I mean, well, if you want me to go super far back, you used to use software like Dreamweaver and, remember these programs?
GoDaddy web page builder or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you build these sites or like the Wix sites, right? Like they're horrible. But you then have big opportunities where there's templated sites like Elementor, right? Did I pronounce it?
Theme
right?
Forest.
Theme Forest. Exactly. So there are ways, and if you have some type of computer, knowledge, you should be able to go, okay, cool, I got the domain name, I'm going to go host it, I'm going to build this site. But you also sometimes go, okay, I'm just going to go on like Upwork or Fiverr, I'm going to find someone just to build my website and kind of get it going. And I take it another step farther, you go, oh, okay, I met somebody at a Chamber of Commerce, I met someone at like a BNI, there's some guy that can build my website, and they go ahead and they build like this pretty website, and you're like, I'm not ranking. I'm still on page 12. Why am I on page 12? I'm paying all this money every month. They promise me, okay, I'm going to get you on these up keywords. And they get me on page 1 on this keyword that says hot tub movers. You're like, wait a second. Like that's not helping me at all. Is the type of templated, because most of these are all just templated websites that have been like tweaked, right? And figured out. I mean, that's just the name of the game. Is having a more customized website, like give me some price points and what to look out for people that are listening going, look, I just want to get my website built, but I'm not ranking. What they should be looking out for, asking their website developer to say, hey, are you building my site on XYZ, or are you doing this? Like, what are some tips that guys should be asking their companies that they're working with? I mean, I would say, hey, let's plug and go, just contact Rotate Digital, contact, the MoverMarketing.AI guys, right? Like let's stick to the 1 or 2 guys that know what they're doing. But that's sometimes not the case, right? Like we all have like our go-to guys. We might be having a great relationship with that SEO company that we have, or the website design company, because they're doing everything and you don't want to like fuck around and change stuff around. Yep. But what should they be looking for? Like, what are the questions they should be asking to go, are you doing this right?
You're good. I like these questions. So you're going to dive into a little bit more of the thing that I wish could be talked about a little bit more. And that is the value creation as the business owner. You're sitting here today, you're listening to this podcast, and you go, how do I create more value in my business? That's the name of the game. And where am I at in my business today? And what is the 1 to 2 things that are going to create the most value and make the most impact today, and let's focus on that. And so I'm glad you brought it up, because if you're sitting here today starting your business, go get whatever website you want. And if you're like, I don't want to spend one moment of time on building my website, fine. Go pay some Joe Schmo and a guy on Fiverr to get you a website. Why? Not for your SEO value, but to just get a beautiful online business card online so that you don't look like you have no website online. That's great. That's a great first stage. Do that. Don't be worried about, trying to get it all perfect for SEO, because your goal is to build your business right now. And SEO is probably not going to be the biggest needle moving activity for you to do that. So now you're like, that's beginning stage. So go, and if you're like, I don't want to spend that money, great. Go and get a Wix or a GoDaddy web builder and start there. There's no, and I'm gonna take this on a hyperbole bell curve. Anybody who's saying WordPress ranks better than Wix really, in my opinion, doesn't have a deeper understanding of what's going on. Because I know companies, I know one in Utah, they used to rank #1 in Utah on some big moving company keywords with a Wix website. That has nothing to do with it. It's the brand value. Now, there's code and clean that Google's looking for that's helpful and that can bring that extra. But again, it's the brand value. And I think that's the key here. So where are you at in your stage? So now, okay, you've built your website. You're getting started. Get a website out there. Start with that. Now you've got some consistency in your business, or you're starting to see your competitors. You're maybe losing jobs or calls because people aren't trusting the way your website looks. Well, great. Next step is to get a website that has a better look. Okay, I don't care how it's built. I don't care who your developer is. Build it with that. That's our goal. So eventually you're going to come to a point where, yeah, if you could get all 3 done, SEO, building, get it, making it look nice in one, great. But there's going to come to a point where you're going to go, how do I now leverage this asset for better SEO value? And I think I now we can talk about that. I just want to make the distinction depending on the stage somebody's at. Well, now in that case, if you're going, what can they ask? Some of the things you can ask are like Google's core vitals that they've produced. You can go online and type in Google's core, vital check. And it's and there's 2 different links you can go to, but run your website through that and then give it to your developer and go fix this and make this be more green than it is red and yellow. That's a great place to start. And when
so there is a tool. Sorry to cut you off. So there is a tool for someone to check out. Like they don't need like SEMrush, like to have, or And for anybody that's listening and goes, "What the hell what did you just say?" There are developer tools out there, obviously, like that Travis uses and other digital marketer guys that do SEO, where they can find out what is wrong with your site. But for those that don't want to spend any kind of money and don't go, okay, I have no idea how to use this, you're saying you can go to Google.
Yeah, go to Google and type in page speed insights. Okay. And just plug it in and it'll come up. It'll diagnose it based off of what's current with Google. And it's just a great place to give to your developer and go, hey, can you start working on this? So start making the red to yellow and the yellow to green. It's our job as business owners in a lot of our aspects is to make red KPIs go to yellow and yellow KPIs go to green. And when the green continues to stay at green, we're going to push that goal a little bit so it goes to yellow and we get to work on that, right? So you can do the same thing and it'll pull a report for you and a good developer will know how to tackle that. And whether you have a theme builder, whether you have a custom built website or whatever it is, great place to start with that as like, that's how I can start moving in that direction. And so there's a few other things we can dive into, but that's a great place to start.
Is there another website, like a free check or something else that they can do as well too, other than that one, that they can try and figure out what they're doing wrong in their site?
Yeah, so that's going to be for like the core values of the vitals that Google's looking for. If you're looking for like an SEO audit, you can do like SEMrush and try to get what SEMrush says are all the problems and just start tackling those one-on-one. And that's going to be a great place to start as well. Hopefully, you're working with somebody that has a little bit more SEO knowledge, because what they're going to do is take this world of SEO and all the problems and then try to figure out what to focus on first. And ultimately, when you think about my business model, that's the name of our game, is to take the thousands and thousands of things that we can do for SEO and figure out what needs to be focused on and when. The right work at the right time in the right order, and figure that out so we can get the best impact, most impact, with the least amount of cost. And I used to tell people, and I still do, you can go to almost every single one of our clients' websites and you will find SEO issues with them. And you can do an audit and it'll have problems. But it's not just doing things to do things. It's figuring out the right SEO work in the right order at the right time. And that's the goal there. And it's just like us as business owners. We have to figure out what is the right work we need to do in the right order at the right time to create the most value in our business today. So,
and like business owners, we want it done yesterday. All of it.
100%.
Like we want it all done now. Like just get it done for us so that we don't have to think about it. Like it's a no-brainer for us. We just want it because we want to jump onto the next project. So for someone, okay, they didn't think about the domain name. They want to have, whatever. I just marksmovingcompany.com or Marks Movers, boom, there you go. I got my moving company. I went ahead and said, okay, cool. I can get like a Wix or like a GoDaddy, one of these self-made pages done. Mm-hmm. I've put some content on it. I made an about us. I, maybe made myself a blog. I want to have my locations or the services that I offer, and then a contact us page, like boom, boom, boom. Like, let's keep it like nice and clean and simple. On that main page, what are some key factors I need to make sure that I'm on there? Because, we know that in today's age, especially with social media, we want to capture that viewer's interest, boom, like that. Or they're off to like the next page, from having like a slow website load up time or anything else. But what are some like the top 3 key things they should have right on that main page to make sure that customer can get, that you'd want to have on there?
First, we always have to be thinking about the customer, even when it comes to SEO. And you've already kind of regurgitated that and said that in a fashion. But to make it clear for those listening, is like you have to focus on sales and the customer first, above and beyond. Everything else we do is all revolved around that. So first thing we can do is make the website feel normal. And I know that's not clear, but I think any one of you guys could go and say, here are my competitors in my area, and go look at their website and most likely the feel of their website. And it feels like, I always tell people, give it to your friend and be like, would you feel comfortable calling this company? And the ways you can do that: professional photography, easy win. Okay. Make the quote form. Number 2 would be make that quote form high on the page. Make it as easy and simple for them to fill out the minimum information you need for it to come to you, for you to then call them and book the job. Those are like 2 quick things. And then get your reviews. Hopefully you have great reviews. Get them plastered on your website so that when they come there, they have an easy way to contact you. You look like an awesome, reputable company, and you have reviews to back it up. And you've hit almost every psychological decision-making problem or hindrance with those 3 things when it comes to the buying method. And so again, notice how we're not talking about some SEO trick. We're talking about how to get more sales and how to create the brand that people like. By doing that, by the way, you'll probably have done some nice things to help with SEO. Then sure, on the page, it'd be great for you to have a little article about who you guys are. And, maybe you can mention that let's say you're in Denver, or I would even get more specific, like the suburb of wherever you live, and just say, hey, we're a moving company located in, XYZ city. Here's how we serve our clients. Here's what we do. That will help, because then people will stay on the page. They will interact with your business. The more people that convert and fill out that quote form, guess what? Google knows that, and that will help you out of the gate. Again, just like that, without having to hire an SEO company.
Got the domain name. I got the website built. I got some key aspects to captivate that customer when they actually click on my site. They're going to fill out a form so I get a lead. Right? Like that's obviously at the end goal, is to book moves and have that. Just because you have a brochure looking website doesn't do anything unless you have somewhere that customer can contact you. Now I go, okay, cool. I got a website. All right. Now I want to get on the maps. So I need probably a Google business account. right? So I go and get that set up. What are some big factors that customer or that business owner needs to do to be on a Google Maps page? I'm filling it out, I'm setting it up. Should they be also, when they're doing photos with the photographer, taking like inside photos? Like, should they be getting that 360 video? Can they, let's say they don't even have a location. They're like, shit, I just rent from like a public storage locker, and that's kind of where I park my trucks, or like my truck is down the block parked at my buddy's house, and I'm renting things out of me and my wife's house. Like, it's a moving industry. Like, we're just getting started. I don't have a lot of money to have a nice, pretty office and everything else. How am I going to get on the Google Maps?
Yeah. I'm going to tell a story, and it might be a tangent, but I'm going to tell a quick story. I started my business, okay? And I grew my business to $1 million a year with the nastiest looking landing page ever. It was gross. It was like, we help moving companies get on Google, a video, and then just a crap ton of testimonials. And that was it. It was like a button to fill out a sales quote, or book a call with us, and that was it. And I grew to $1 million a year by just that. And the point of the story is that business, the way it looked, is drastically different than the way we operate and do things today. But if I tried to create what I did today and what we look like today, if I tried to create that 3 years ago, I would not be here today. And so the whole purpose is, there are things I need to do and need to focus on that were not maybe the best or greatest, but I was focusing on the things that moved the needle. And so to come full circle and answer that question for you, I would argue, don't worry about the nice office, the location, the whatever. Just start with the most important thing to you at that time that is going to help your business grow. What is that? Getting online on Google. Well, that's step one. Let's get a Google business profile account. Great. Don't worry about where it's at. Now, if you have 3 options that are wonderful options, great. Have some decision making, but use it out of your house. Whatever it is to get your Google business profile verified, start with that. Don't worry about anything else. Get that on there, throw some photos. I don't care if it's your iPhone photos or a $5,000 photographer that you spent money on. Get photos on there and then get massive amounts of reviews. And you're like, well, how do I optimize it? Just fill out the questions Google asks you. Literally fill out, when did you start? Fill it out. What's a description about your business? Fill it out. Don't worry about the SEO keywords or anything like that. That is your first thing to do. Start with that and grow those reviews. That is the first place to start. Don't worry about the rest. Because if you try to cultivate what your moving company looks like 5 years from now and you skip to that step, you're going to miss all the value creation and the most important work that you need to do today.